Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 192, The Aftermath. Aftermath of what, you may ask? A fun filled weekend of playing a shit ton of airplane combat. Telemachus is in the house. I talk, I smile, I laugh, but be careful when I'm silent. Mr. Joker. How you doing, Telemachus? Glad you could make it. Charles, how you doing, sir? Hello, all. He gives an extra L in there. Richard Keenan here. He says hello. Hello, Mr. Keenan. Thank you for joining us. We got the original Grognard giving us a thumbs up as always. How you doing, Devin? Good to see you. And then, of course, Telemachus giving a shout out to Charles Latora. Um, I still go with Charles being the number one fan. Not necessarily that he likes me more than anybody else likes me, but he was like literally the first person to ever comment on any of my shows. So, Charles, always near and dear to my heart, buddy. So, we didn't play a single game of Fistful of Lead all weekend. But that doesn't stop you from going over to wiley-games.com and picking up a copy of Fistful of Lead Core Rules or any of the other versions there are. And to get a 20% discount, all you got to do is put in not J, NOTJAY, into the coupon code. And that's 20% off everything, and you can use it as many times as you want. So there's one for Reese also, but you know it's my show, so if you happen to run into Reese while you're in Northwest Arkansas, you know, hanging out, doing what they do in Northwest Arkansas, which is apparently dragging cows and their brand new baby calves out of dry gullies with snow on the ground, then by all means use his coupon code.
I want
Charles
to amend that
says,
with one thing. The snow has melted. Anyway.
oh, "Okay, so is it still? But is the ground still frozen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay." Charles says, "I hate seedless grapes that ain't seedless." Fair enough, sir. Fair enough. And we got meandering Mike in the house. Greetings, everyone. How you doing, Mike? Glad you could make it. Glad you could make it. So what are you working on right now, Mr. Reese?
I got my paints out. I'm going to start painting some Soviet block aircraft for North Korea.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Now, luckily with those, you don't have to worry about basing, as you would say with Kit Fisto here. But if you are painting somebody like Kit Fisto, you do want to make sure you got a good base because the product that we all know and love from Geek Gaming, Scenics, will make your bad miniatures look good, your good miniatures look great, and your great miniatures look amazing. So head on over to geekgamingusa.com and place an order for your Geek Gaming base ready material of your choice and grab a bottle of that fast drying uh, basing glue, and you can't go wrong. Thank you, Telemachus. It is a sexy base, um, as is this one. Got the little space monkey from Rogue One there, all painted up with a great looking base. So, yeah, head on over there and pick up your product, and it'll be golden. Um, Speaking of basing for aircraft, though, we did. I think we almost perfected the basing for your 1/600 scale airplanes.
I wouldn't say almost. I'd say we perfected it. I've got nothing to change.
I You know what? I'll agree with you there. I think it worked out real well. So for those of y'all that didn't already know, he being Reese went out and purchased a legitimate shit ton of clear Lego barrels. One,
That's an American crap ton.
yeah, it is an American crap ton, and in this
Not those
economy,
metric crap tons.
yeah. So I mean, they stack nicely. They're clear. We did use a black one to note
5 and 10.
a 5 and a 10 altitude level, and then originally he had pipe cleaners at the top, but the little magnets and the little bit of wire that's in a pipe cleaner just wasn't enough to really get where we wanted it to be. So then we went and bought some BBs and some small tack nails. And the BBs fit perfectly in the top of the barrel, but the magnets were too small to actually hold the weight of some of the bigger aircraft. So where you could get away with like a MiG-15 sitting on the BB, you throw an F4 and F-105 on there, and it is just, going whichever way. So we used the nail heads instead. Man, did those work out perfect. Absolutely amazing. Let's see if I can bring up some photos real quickly to let y'all see what we're talking about. And the reason why we're talking about this specifically is because this is what we did all weekend, besides eat some really, really good food.
Fantastic food.
We played the crap ton out of 1/600 miniatures. So let's go here. Excuse me.
I lost track of how many games we played, but that's all we played.
Yeah, so here you go. Here's the first photo. This was Friday night, and this was the original setup he had. Those are little poker chips that are about the size of, or those are the poker chips that you find in Axis and Allies.
About the size of a nickel.
Yeah. The problem with that is you looked at them and they were tipping over. So, and then you can see the little white tufts in there for the pipe cleaners. So as I said, the smaller airplanes didn't have a problem using them. So, you had that going for you. And here's some MiG-15s. And you can see we had the clear barrels and then the black barrel there. And then the clear barrels up to the top barrel. And it worked well enough for Friday night. But we started thinking, like, immediately, how could we make this better? And the reason why they're so fuzzy is because it was really dark in there, because, like a dumbass, I forgot to pick up the overhead light for the room, because the room that we were playing in is notoriously dark. That's the yard cat there, checking out my the back of my car that's got the food in it. So what we did instead is we went out, picked up some washers. And I don't have the washers on me handy right now, but it's this size washer.
1 by 1/4.
Yeah, 1 1/4 with it's a fender washer, and we just glued the what he already had set up directly to that, and boom, Bob's your uncle. Worked perfectly. And you can see these F-105s were sitting nice and pretty. Hello, McMurray.
What's up, everybody? Sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Just fine.
So yeah, we actually were able to brush against the stands, and they weren't tipping over. The airplanes were nice and steady on those nail heads. They were great, and I gotta say, the paint jobs on your planes are really really nice.
Thank you. I'm working
Uh,
on getting decals on all of them, but I don't have the patience for most of it.
yeah, so we had some pretty good scrums. And that's a photo of me that I sent to my wife this morning. So there you go. But yeah, it was good fun, man. We literally that's the only game we played all weekend. And that's not the first time we've done that before. To where we just migrate and focus on a single game all weekend. We've done it before. We'll probably end up doing it again. Um, but we were
I'm
spending a lot of
glad
time.
because there was a couple points I thought I was holding y'all hostage to play that game.
No, not at all, man. No. After you left, uh, Chris and I were wrapping up getting things cleaned up at the lodge, and he said, "Man, Reese kept on apologizing. He didn't need to, man. We're
Yeah.
sitting there pushing planes, rolling dice, commiserating, having fun. Plus, we're coming up with ideas to expand the game to include missiles and how to make things better. And like, I'm all about that. So,
Well, and that's a lot of what we did was play testing.
yes,
Um,
yeah,
and I very much, as I said to y'all there, I appreciated having experienced not only game players but what I call game technicians
yeah.
as
So,
well.
um, so along those lines, um, we started talking about. Well, I mean, Korean War is great. Vietnam is okay. Don't want to go like any later than about 75. Um, but what about Weird War? And not like werewolves in flight suits or aliens or anything like that. But what if we pushed World War II? Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki didn't happen for whatever reason, right? Or Hitler didn't off himself, right? And we pushed into 46, 47, 48. Like they were originally expecting the war to, they were originally expecting the war to go several more years. And we started looking at all of these weird late 40s, early 50s concept planes.
What's the
And
wild thing that like sits inside of a ring? What the hell is that thing called?
what?
It's a plane I believe it's an early jet that then
Oh,
has two wing struts on either side, and all of the wing surface is like a ring with elevators on it.
I know what you're talking about.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. But I found a Saab 21, jet powered Saab from late 40s that I've printed up in 1600. Found the Japanese Shinden, and this is front. It flies forward this way, so it's got canards and wings. So it looks like it might want to fly like this, this direction, but no,
Yeah.
it's wanting to fly that direction. Then I found a Northrop flying wing that wasn't a bomber. Excuse me. And it used a jet takeoff rocket assist takeoff, rados, and then jets once it got up in the air. And you can't talk weird ass airplanes from the late 40s, early 50s without talking about the Little Goblin. Hold on one second, because it is so damn small in 1/600 scale. that I need to. Shit! Fire save the matches. I gotta
It
put it
looks
on.
like if a cartoonist, like a Disney cartoonist,
Yeah,
drew a P-47.
there you go. It actually has a little hook. It would on jet fighters in the Navy it would be called a tail hook, but this would be a nose hook, and it was designed to be latched onto a trapeze bar in the bomb bay of a B-36 or a B-52 or something like that, and the trapeze bar would drop down out of the bomb bay. This would release and fly. Go do its attack runs and whatever, and then would come back to the bomber, catch that trapeze hook, and be drawn back up into the aircraft. It, if I'm not mistaken, it did not have landing gear of its own.
No.
It had a cradle that it would sit in when it was on the ground, being pushed around, to get to wherever it needed to go on the ground.
That thing's gonna have like 3 hit points in a turn of 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's and I don't even know what the
I think it's got 250s on it, so it'd be like one gun.
Yeah, one die. But I mean, you'd have a swarm of them.
Yeah.
So I might print up and send you a dozen of them.
Okay, if you don't mind, I am not going to complain.
That's like a half a penny of resin.
Dude, he can fucking send them to you on the back of a stamp. He'll just pull the stamp off.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna fit the address on there, but you could definitely park a dozen of those figures behind his stamp.
Yep. Chris Long, hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, nerds. Hope everyone is good. We are doing well. We warmed up a little today. I think we brushed. What the hell's going on?
Just walking downstairs. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I think we brushed 32 degrees today, and that's an American Freedom Units.
Heck yeah, dude.
I would prefer 32 in commie socialist units.
Yeah,
because
then we'd have to be commie socialists.
Well, that's too, yeah. But I mean, that 32 is better than our 32. I'm just saying.
That's fair, but then 20 and 75 means we're dead.
Right. Yes. So 75 for us is great. 75 for them, not so much.
It's dead. Reese Poo Poo is dead.
Literally, we are cooked.
Yes, correct. There is no figurative language there.
Walkabout, I like it.
Just printed a Browning high power for a wall display.
A full-size high power?
That's what I was about to say.
Chris, if you move like
is that allowed
2 or 3 hours to the south, you could just have a Browning high power for a wall display.
Pick one up for $450 from certain people I know.
You could
have well, $450. That's like what? 3/4 of a skull.
No, that's about 6 cow skulls.
It is okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. This motherfucker's trading fucking cow skulls for guns and shit. That's badass. I forgot about that. That's super duper cool.
Andrew Mike says it's 34 there in where he's located, if I remember correctly, somewhere in Ohio.
Mike, are you guys like personally offended by middle schoolers using the term Ohio to mean not that cool?
Oh, Burlington, Washington. What are you doing in Burlington, Washington? I thought you were in Ohio. Why am I thinking you're in Ohio?
Yeah, I thought Mike was on the Western Seaboard too, but that's okay.
He is. Burlington, Washington. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got the idea that you're in Ohio. I don't know.
Who is our Ohio listener? So I'm pretty sure we have one.
Well, John Longshore, who used to come to the show all the time, is from Michigan.
Fair.
So, Walkabout says the high power just went out of service there in Canada. They're using the SIG 320 now.
Oh,
Didn't the Lee Enfield just go out of service in parts of Canada also?
I believe so.
Using that so sweet Seiko piece of machinery now for your
Oh.
Arctic Rangers or polar bear guides or whatever.
That Seiko makes me have dirty thoughts.
Yeah, dude.
Uh, Hexy,
Anyway.
you are not in Ohio. You're in Best Virginia.
That's right. That is exactly where Big Jeffy's at. Man, can I talk for a second?
Go ahead.
So, first off, Jeff's awesome. Jeff posted a couple of videos I made for his channel today. We're using Bill Molyneux's Horns of the Buffalo rules to play some whatchamacallums, some games in Horns of the Buffalo. God, what am I talking about? I used Bill Molyneux's Horns of the Buffalo to play Rorke's Drift and Nissan Luana. But for those of you who haven't noticed, Hexy itself is over there playing games in my favorite manner on their anniversaries. Right? And I don't know how long. That's right, Chris. That's right, buddy. And I don't know how long that'll keep going. But hopefully it keeps going for quite some time because it is quite delightful and it's a really cool way to game and a really cool way to learn about history kind of as you go throughout the year and to remember stuff. So I think the current goal is to each put up a game about once a month, at least that's, taking place that month. Obviously, probably going to play other things as well in the meantime, but
then you're going to lose your mind over Tacticon.
Well, yeah, except for that it's on the same fucking weekend this year and I can't go.
Well, it being the 8th of November, I was going to do Ydrang.
Well, you know what? That makes me happy and unhappy at the same time.
Anyway, back to letting you talk. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. Yeah, so just that's fantastic. That's super duper. Jeffy has also been painting a bit. That's right. You heard it.
Outstanding.
You heard it. You heard it.
You need to do some renovations?
The big man, no. Painting the miniatures.
If pigs been spotted flying.
The only Hex to Hex, Sexy Hexy himself, has been getting down and is working with some Army Painter fanatics and Speed Paint 2s. And it's going to be badass. I'm really looking forward to him getting back to posting a couple of videos of painting and painting guides and stuff like that. It's awesome. So, again, just go over, check out Jeff's channel if you haven't for a minute. Watch some of the videos. It's cool that we're rolling through the year on anniversaries. That being said, both of us are in this absolute pickle, being that no cool shit really happened in February. Like
Iajima?
Huh?
Iajima.
Well, okay. No cool shit started or ended in February. How about that? But yeah, drop the big news, McMurray. Yeah, okay. Jeff is going to be back to painting Flames of War miniatures, which is really exciting. I don't know how many people remember his Flames of War Soviet, like how to paint Flames of War Soviets with speed paints, but it was badass. And I'm really, 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 really looking forward to a whole bunch more of those things because he did the same thing with Germans. I don't think it ever got posted though, so I'm really, really looking forward to, what all is going to go into that, and it's super duper cool. In May, we'll be playing some Battle of Berlin stuff, which I'm really excited for. Maybe Operation Unthinkable. And at this point, I'm really just tugging his nuts. In May, Toddy and I are going to go out and hang out with Jeffy and play some games and go to Gettysburg and probably Antietam. And it's going to be awesome. Mike, those
Outstanding.
are exactly what he's starting out with, Mike. But yeah. So, anyways, that's the honest big news, is that Toddy and I are going to go visit Jeff and
Nice.
see Hexy and see Gettysburg for a few days and hang out and play games. And now the funny part is, Jeff and I are going to paint miniatures and talk about painting miniatures while Todd just feels left out because he quite literally got rid of all of his miniature stuff.
What?
Well, when I say got rid of, I mean I have all of his old 15s, which is a mountain of stuff.
So basically, he put it into McMurray storage.
Yes. And that's what I keep telling him. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But he keeps telling me, no, it's not just storage. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, right.
But yes, if you guys would continue to refer to it as Wardrobe's McMurray miniature storage, that would be fantastic. But yes, the big news, the big main news that's super duper awesome and super fantastic and I'm ridiculously excited for is going hanging out with Hex to Hex and seeing Gettysburg, seeing Antietam, seeing the site for the local. We're going to go to that Gettysburg miniature store that Phil Molyneux always posts from.
Lots of 54s there.
There are lots of 54. There's lots of everything there.
So when in May is this?
The first full week in May.
Outstanding.
So quite excited. That's going to be an absolute blast. I'm going to get to go stand in the peach orchard. And then I'm going to go stand at the,
So
clods of dirt that form the bottom side of Seminary Ridge and just bask in the tactical genius of the
excuse me.
Sorry, keep
Now,
going.
are there actual peach trees in the peach orchard?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know how it's planted currently. I think, if I recall correctly from watching, Matt Atkinson's videos, I don't believe so. I'm not sure. I don't think it's still a
Hexy says there
peach
are.
orchard. Huh?
Hexy says there are.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Outstanding.
Jackpot. But yeah, so we'll enjoy that, and that'll be super duper cool. We already got a battlefield guide lined up. That isn't Jeff because he's going to be their blood is not going to be in Jeffy's correct brain enough for a full-blown hex guided tour.
He will be at full mast, if you will.
Yes, little brain Jeffy, Jeffy's little head will be getting all of the blood thanks to the stunning visage of Wardrobe Plays World War II. But
outstanding.
Yeah. That was Charles, that was the joke for quite some time, was that Todd and I were going to tell Jeff we were going to bring all the games and then just show up and do nothing but play flying colors. But obviously we can't do that to poor Hexy. So
no.
You mean you can't just play a weekend straight of one game and then
you can absolutely play flying colors for 4 straight days. Ask me how I know.
Because you've done it before.
Yeah, dude. Remember that time I tried to play Trafalgar?
Yeah.
Yes. Super fun.
take you 4 days.
I did not finish. It wasn't 4 days straight.
I mean,
but
you did finish, but you didn't finish.
Correct. Yeah, it wasn't like I played for 96 straight hours, but I probably put 25 to 30 hours in over 4 days. It was quite fun.
So
but-
you're gonna be in Gettysburg on Cinco de Mayo.
Accurate.
Outstanding.
Accurate. It's gonna be just more fun than I know how to adequately express. So, yeah, I'm quite psyched, very, very pumped, very excited.
I'm excited for y'all.
Me too, man. I don't know what the hell. I got a box today. I don't know what the hell's inside of it though. it's splitting on one side. It's got to be War Games related. Let's see here.
Ooh, he says tour guide Phil has blocked off the entire day just for you guys.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be awesome. I wasn't kidding at all. I think I was talking to Jeff and Todd about this. I think it might be the first trip that I've taken just as like a trip that wasn't a wedding or, wargaming. Entirely possibly in my adult life, to be honest with you.
Hold on. I got a question for you here. Do you have any friends that are unmarried currently that could potentially say, hey, I want to get married this weekend?
I already got 3 of those assholes getting married this year, and I'm pretty well tapped out.
Yeah, tell them that I don't care how long you have been scheduling this.
Yeah.
Your wedding will not be this weekend.
March to Victory is already scheduled.
Good.
Like, dude, that's the irritating thing, right? Because I was so psyched for Battles and Brews this year.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I spent all that time getting games together, sent them into Jay, did all that shit, and then that lady ran into me the day before.
Yeah.
Like, come on, lady. Yeah, for those of you who missed that, the Thursday before, so the day before I was driving out to Battles and Brews, I got hit by a lady pulling out against a red light 3 minutes from my house. So then all of a sudden I had no car and big stuff I had to get figured out and fixed before returning to work like 2 days later. Yeah. And then what was the other one? Was it Wiley War Games weekend that then work ate up? Like, come on, man. Let me friggin' get out there.
And March to Victory, you had to go home early, I think.
Yeah, not like super duper early. I had stuff the next day, but Sunday wasn't anything at March to Victory this year anyways.
Right.
So yeah, I went home at like 6 instead of 10, but that's about it. Like, that one I wasn't as frustrated about. It was just one of those, come on, man.
Scala's got it right.
Scala,
I have to the next wedding.
I have told somebody who I got invited to their third wedding exactly that. His current wife was not even close to happy about that and very, very mad and still hasn't talked to me, but she will not be in attendance at his fourth wedding, so I'm not really worried about it.
There you go. You get the first one. Second one, maybe. Anything past that, no.
She was also super pissed when I pointed out that she could be as mad at me as she wanted because she wasn't going to be at the fourth wedding anyhow. But, whatever. Such is life.
Charles has got a good idea also. Tell them you'll take each of them out individually once they file for divorce.
Jesus. That seems like a good way to get shot.
That's faith in humanity right there.
Yeah, dude. I also have 100% been to a wedding where the best man speech started with, well, welcome back.
Yikes.
We tried to do that on Josh. He did not allow it.
Well, it was. I mean, that was the dumb part. It was the second time these two idiots had gotten married.
Oh, gotcha.
To each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
My mom and dad were.
I guess moving towards a third. But yeah.
My grandparents did that.
Yeah, it was just one of those like, all right, first off, who's pissed off at this guy? Because that's fucking hilarious. Like, that was incredibly well done and very well executed.
That's amazing.
Especially given that he was the best man at both of their weddings. So, like, you can't, how mad can you get? That dude had to rent a tux twice because you idiots couldn't just figure it out.
There were too many firearms at Josh's wedding for somebody to try to pull that.
I mean, it happens. Whatever, man. It was just one of those, like, can we laugh at this? And then everybody started laughing. It was fantastic. It was just awkward for a hot second. They were like, I don't know. whatever. Oh, that was the other thing, is that I have a cool gift that I'm sending to Hexy here in a minute that'll help him out with all of his paint storage stuff that I went and saw and picked up today. So I'm excited about that.
Cool.
Let's see here. What else? There's wild. There's all kinds of stuff going on all of a sudden. Jeff makes a good point. We did talk about that, how we got the Fanatic set and then the Speed Paint set. And if he's painting World War II, he'll use like a whopping total of about 30 of them, 25 or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly, Mike. I don't know how many of you guys watched that video where Chris and I were sitting here. That was this channel, wasn't it? That was on your channel, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
Where we sat down and I painted those minion-looking guys and the priests, the Jesuits in bright orange.
I think so.
I think it was. And it's not one coat coverage on black, which is ridiculous. That's absurd. People toss that around a bunch. Obviously, that's an incredibly unreasonable expectation, right? But it was pretty incredible because I used a flat black and then like a nasty brown primer on the flat black was on the yellow and the nasty brown primer was on the orange guys, and they worked super well, like very, very, very well. So, yes, Jeff's in for quite a treat with those.
Cool.
Especially painting like 15s and stuff, having lots and lots and lots of opacity makes that, traditional 15 millimeter style of painting just so much simpler. Like the Flames of War style, it's just so much simpler when you've got paint with really excellent coverage. All painting is easier with good consistent coverage, but that style especially is just wonderful like that.
So you were definitely missed this weekend, sir.
Well, I was sad to miss it. St. Louis was definitely St. Louising. So, it happens. But
your input would have been much appreciated on our mini conferences over these rules.
Yeah.
Is it the same Bombers over Germany base rules?
Yes.
Nice. That is consistently still one of my favorite air combat games, just because it's so fun, so simple, so easy and delightful to play.
I'll let Chris corroborate, but I believe the altitude rules that I incorporated don't really mess with how simple and easy it is.
Not too horribly.
Nice.
But the thing that's I don't know if you were here early enough, but that's the only game we played all weekend.
Yeah, I caught that. That's impressive.
I showed up with my prototype flight stands, and Chris Copeland and Chris Arnold both looked at it and went, "We can fix that." And Saturday morning by noon, the perfect flight stand had been built and replicated 20 times.
There you go. Nice.
It's now, to be fair, there was only 4 of us playing. Mike did show up on Friday, but he headed home early Saturday morning because he wasn't feeling well.
Mike the Monster, Mr. Burke himself.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he was there. He was there Friday
you two
night.
And then Copeland and Jay.
No, Eric, our buddy Eric Huck.
Oh,
Jay
nice.
was there, but he didn't do any playing because he was spending time over drinking mass quantities of beer and wine with his wife over in the bar part, and that's okay.
Spending time with the woman that he's married to and happily. Yeah. What a loser!
Right. So, yeah. So it was just us. Some of the other guys that had said that they were going to be showing up didn't, but that's okay. So we just
sounds like it's still a delightful and really productive weekend. So
it was, and like Reese said, the food was amazing. Shout out to
Always.
Donna. Friday night we went to Maya, the Mexican food restaurant across from Jay's Barbershop,
Hmm.
and had a delightful dinner there. Percy, how you doing, buddy? Percy Block's in the house saying, "Hey,
What's up,
hey, hey."
Percy?
And then Saturday morning, she made this really, really good eggs and hash brown and country sausage and cheese casserole. It was delightful.
Nice.
Then lunch, we had fresh cornbread and chili, which was really, really good.
And a few
And
pickled jalapenos.
yeah, and some pickled jalapenos. Um, and then for dinner, we had a Texas barbecue. I smoked up a brisket, and Donna made some cream corn, not creamed corn, but cream corn. And I did some baked beans, and then we had potato salad and coleslaw, and that was delightful as well.
Nice. You
So
guys are good.
yeah, and I think that's moving forward. I think that's going to be the standard. The only thing I might add is some pinto beans. Might do pintos instead of baked beans. Now I might just do both.
Why wouldn't you just put them in the chili, Chris?
Or we could do a pot of pinto beans and cornbread for breakfast.
Oh, there you go.
Not that everybody would eat that, but
I will.
I would too. That was a good breakfast growing up.
Jesus, man.
Damn.
That poor lodge would be like the fucking fire in Blazing Saddles.
Want some more beans, Mr. Taggart? I don't think you've had enough.
I'm bringing SCBA gear next year. Good Lord.
But yeah, it's our next gaming event that I'm going to be a part of is going to be March to Victory.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to bring. I know Reese isn't going to be able to make it. More than likely. Oh no, yeah, no, you're going to be in Hawaii for March.
I'll be in Hawaii in May. That has been changed.
Been changed.
Reese is at March to Victory.
Yes, outstanding. That.
Now I don't know if that's going to be a Saturday only appearance. It may be.
Well, you got to drive up there on Friday anyway. It's not going to drive up there on Saturday.
Right. I'm going to drive up there Friday night, but I'll be after work. I'll get there about 8.
Okay.
So
yeah, we'll still be going. So you can drop in and say hi.
Right.
So
I will start the game at fucking 8 o'clock. I don't care. Let's do it.
Let's make it happen. So good. Okay. So then there's that, and then
I'll bring Weird War air combat.
There you go. My brother Jay and I are committed to do more gaming events in the St. Louis area, so we are planning on bringing something to DICON.
Nice.
Which is, I believe, the 6th through the 8th of June.
Yeah, it's usually that first full weekend. It's a good time. Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. So we got that, and in July we got Battles and Brews and J3. Mm-hmm. I get to double up in July. And then
is there a weekend for J3 yet?
Not yet, and I want to see when Jay Wiley is setting his weekend for Battles and Brews. And I'm hoping it's not too late in July because the week inclusive of Donna's birthday in July, we're going to Minnesota. So like the 19th through the 26th, we're going to Minnesota. So I'm hoping that he doesn't do Battles and Brews one of those 2 weekends. Fingers crossed.
That's fair. Let's see here.
But if he
Battles
does,
and Bruises in
hey,
July, right?
what's that?
Battles and Bruises in July.
Yep,
Correct.
Battles and Bruises in July. I'm hoping maybe he does it early. I don't know.
Usually it's towards the end of the month, but
Yeah.
let's see here.
I have no idea what my July looks like.
Well, I mean, if he does it on the 20th, if he does it the 26th and 27th, we could conceivably come home early.
Yeah, you could swing by there on your way home.
Yeah, because we're looking to drive home on the 26th anyway. So, leaving on the 25th to stop in Kansas City, because we got to go through Kansas City anyway, because we got to pick up the dog.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be
Right.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And Jay should definitely have his J3 2 weeks before that.
Yeah, on the 12th. Which is his birthday, which is when it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my point is those are my weekends off in July, and that'd be awesome. That's
there
like
you go.
Jay's birthday's the day before mine. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to reach out to Jay Wiley and tell him that he needs to make sure Battles and Brews happens on the 26th this year.
Yeah. Well, let's get to March to Victory first. That's going to be his response anyways, but yeah.
Exactly. So we really don't have anything August, September time frame, because we really don't have anything that's replaced recruits. Then October we've got Jay Wiley's Weird Wargaming Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Then November we've got Wiley Weekend and Tacticon.
Mm-hmm.
I
thought Wiley Weekend was usually in December.
Yeah, he's pushed it all the way out to like the first weekend of December now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's the other one that I missed because of work. Yeah.
Yep. So, Tacticon has been officially scheduled.
So it's the same weekend.
What's that?
The guys at Phalanx Consortium who do MDF stuff, they're trying to start up a new convention. I really wanted to support that, but it's the same weekend as Tacticon, and I have to work anyways.
Yeah, 7th through the 9th
mm-hmm.
is when Tacticon is. In fact, I need to slot that in now. It's all day. There we go. Boom. So you have to work that weekend? That's a bummer.
I do.
That's a bummer. Not going to be able to see you on that for that one, but is what it is, I guess.
It happens. If that holds off all of my wargaming bad medicine for the rest of the year, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, and we've got the OG. How you doing,
what's
Devin?
up, Devin?
What's up, gentlemen?
Oh man, Devin's right here. What's up, buddy? I wasn't sure if you were on or in the texter, dude. That's awesome. What's up?
All right. Hit me with your lock and load hate right now. I can deal with it.
No hate. No
The
hate.
No.
USPS sucks because my tank on tanks were supposed to get here on the 17th, and the Postal Service is still dicking me around, and I'm sad.
No, believe
but
me.
Did it ship? That's the real question.
What?
Did your tank on tank actually ship?
Oh, absolutely. It shipped really fast. And I got a killer deal on it. Jesus, Devin. If I bought the one of them, I got the other one for $10.
Yep. It's Tank on Tank is a good introductory game. It plays like a miniatures game on board, so yeah. It's pretty cool.
Honestly, World at
good for us
War
simpletons.
85.
World at War 85 is a straight up miniature system converted to board. It's basically 40K. Number of dice, target number, roll saves, whatever gets through. Yeah, no. Yes, give me your hate. I can handle it. Honestly, you people have a right to be pissed. I'm pissed. Shit's been in the freaking warehouse for a month now, and we haven't got the first game out to everybody yet. No, it's just Dave is super pissed. Sunday I had to talk him off the edge. He was about losing his mind on Sunday. So. What? Yeah, I know, dude. You were on the list to get the first batch of the copies. So the warehouse. There's a good chance we're gonna shift warehouses after this, because honestly, this is just completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
And honestly, I could tell you everything that's going on, but I don't even believe it, and I'm ass deep in it. So it's just the freaking comedy of errors that have gone on since day one. Okay, I'll give you a little example. When we got the box, when the containers got to the warehouse, they couldn't unload the containers, or they couldn't unload the pallets into the warehouse because the warehouse doors are only 6 feet tall and the pallets were stacked 8 feet tall. China said they were sending us to a 6 feet tall. So they had to unpack and this makes it even worse because the warehouse spots that they had reserved to put our pallets on were only 6 feet tall. So they had to unpack everything by hand, move the pallets to where the pallets were supposed to be at 6 feet tall, repack everything while inventorying it.
And probably have more pallets than they started with, because
definitely.
Yeah.
Because they could only get 6 feet tall. They were expecting, say, I'm just making this number up, 40 slots for pallets, but it turned into like 80 slots for pallets or 60.
So what? And I know I'm probably out here with this question. Why didn't they take the top 2 feet off of each pallet and then just move the pallets?
Damn good question. I could not get a straight answer. Because I said that myself. It's like, so just take the first 2 boxes, the 2 feet off, and put them on a pallet, and then take the pallet out. He didn't have an answer for me.
Because at that point in time, you're making, you'd make 4 pallets out of 3 pallets.
Oh yeah, trust me, believe me. I have brought this. Yes.
Because you have 24 feet of pallets. Whether you're in 3s or 4s, it's the same number. And anyway.
Yeah, no, believe me, and that was just the beginning of the shit show. So I mean, we are getting copies out. It's I think we peaked out doing like 250 copies. Exactly.
And here's the answer.
I was really tempted to make a terrible accented comment there, and then my thought instantly also shifted to Oompa Loompa Lockety Load. I've got another pallet for you.
It's just, and that was just the beginning of the insanity.
Chris and I would probably whack our heads on that door.
Oh, I absolutely would whack my head on that door. I think all 4 of us that are currently on the show would be that stormtrooper.
Yep, bonk.
That is legitimately wild as shit. Like a normal just door is taller than 6 foot, Devin.
Yeah,
trust me, I know this. Believe me, David and I have gone round and round about this. I've gone round it. It just, like I said,
what sort of wild ass midget forklift do you use?
It's honestly okay. I'm gonna let a little secret. Don't tell anybody. This is just between us and everybody watching. It's not really a warehouse. It's a fulfillment center.
Oh, well, yeah.
But still, I would still think that a fulfillment center, if they're taking in pallets and putting out pallets, would have to have 8 to 10 foot doors.
Yep.
Call me crazy.
You're crazy.
I mean, I am. I totally am. And honestly, Chris, I haven't even gotten my stuff yet. I I've got a
Yeah.
con I've got to go to next year or next week that David wants me to show this stuff off to. And I talked to Darren today, and he ain't even sent my stuff yet. So,
Darren's gonna have to drive to the warehouse and just start pulling shit off the
you
pallets
know,
himself.
if I actually about the second week into this, when the warehouse was running, it's like, David, do you want to fly me down so I can fucking do this shit? I've done warehouse work before. It's not that tough. Evidently, it is for these people, but whatever. So, yeah.
That's in Pueblo, Colorado, right?
Yeah, the distribution center, the warehouse is in Pueblo.
I got some cattle haulers I could talk to. We could get that sorted out.
Dude, we could probably get it out quicker with the cattle haulers than we could. And the thing is, when the UPS truck comes by, it's one of those little itty bitty ones, so they can only get like 200 boxes in it a day, and then add in the weather that they've been hit with. And
I get the weather. I have no grudges. However, the weather
Mike,
wouldn't
you
have
were
been an
not
issue
wrong.
if the shit had gone out prior.
trust me.
Meandering Mike's got a point. Somebody's using a storage unit to run a fulfillment center out of.
That's what it
No,
feels like.
because storage units have 8-foot doors.
That's true.
No, storage unit with a door that jammed and won't go all the way out.
That's true.
So
No,
yeah,
no.
I've been trying to have a very low profile. I mean, of course, the people on GameFound are absolutely. And we had this one guy. So again, games are getting out to people just very, very slowly and not as quickly as I would like. One of the guys complained because he said that one of the counter sheets was printed on the wrong side. So the back of the counter sheet was on the front, and the front of the counter sheet was on the back.
Does it matter?
Is there anything mechanically wrong with that? Are the counters mirrored? No, they're perfectly fine. They are the counters misaligned? No, they're aligned just fine. It's just they're printed on the wrong side. So
I saw Cad posting about that. That was entertaining.
I got 4 words. Who the fuck cares?
and there's a part of me that would like to respond with that, but the business side of me is like, no, I gotta be nice about this. I gotta be diplomatic.
Here. What you do is you send him 2 stickers that says sheet 1 of however front, sheet 1 of whatever back. Put the front sticker on the back, put the back sticker. Boom, done. It's been errated.
Well, see, the thing is,
He's gonna throw the fucking frame away anyway.
fixing the issue is not a problem. I mean, we always have extra copies that we use for
Right.
parts and shit like that.
Right, yes.
So us
But-
replacing the sheets is no matter. But yeah, this guy is freaking out. I'm sorry, Jeff. I really am.
You
This
should
guy
be.
is just absolutely freaking out, going to GameFound, going to BGG, it's like, dude, just put in a support ticket. The only reason you're doing this is because you're being an ass.
Yep.
But whatever. But yeah, triggered gamer OCD. Yeah. Entitled
not-
man children is something.
It's not triggered gamer OCD. It's just people looking for something to bitch about because it's the current cool thing to bitch about. Fuck them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. So.
Yeah, he can't bitch about it taking 800 plus days for fulfillment anymore.
828
He's got the fucking
days.
whatever it is. I haven't been counting. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just happy they're in the United States at this point.
Well, and see, the thing is, I mean, okay, I get people being pissed off. We did say back when we started these 3 GameFounds that they were printer ready, and they were until they weren't. So I get people being up, but honestly, if you look at most GameFounds or Kickstarters, 2 years is nothing.
Yeah.
Stellaris from Academy Games about to hit the 3-year mark. What is it? What's that one space video game is close to hitting the 8-year mark. I mean, 2 years is honestly fast for a GameFound, and I get it. You said this was all ready, and you're right. At the time, it was ready, and then it wasn't. And then there were issues with China, and then there were issues with, this has been it's been a cluster. So that's
It
what
has
I've been
been
dealing with.
it has been a Charlie Foxtrot, and I every time I send you a message, Devin, I feel bad,
No,
but I
I
just
totally get your empathy, and honestly, like I said, give me your hate if it makes you feel better. I can take it. I'm a big boy, so
I'm all good. I am patient. I'm not like the rest of these cucks.
yeah, Mike. We're hoping to have everything out by 2026. Yes, I can probably I'm not going to commit to it, but I can probably safely say all three of these games will get out by 2026. But yeah, so I've got two theoretically, yes. That's why I'm not committing to it because I'm not going to commit to anything anymore. Every time I've given a date or anything,
Right.
I'm wrong and I've gotten screwed over. So, but yes, I do have a con. I've actually got two cons in the next 3 weeks. I've got next week is World War III con, which is absolutely tiny. I mean, there's like maybe 25 people show up to that. Uh, yes, Jeff, you've got plenty of games to play. Don't give me that. And then the
Yeah.
week after that is the big one, Game On, and they're the same guy runs them, and they're done at the exact same hotel it's been at for the last few years. And it's kind of a nice con because it's mostly Hex Encounter. So I mean, there's no miniatures. Not that I mean, if someone brought miniatures, I'm sure they wouldn't have any issue. But it's mostly a Hex Encounter. So, and I think the big one, the Game On, we might have 200-300 people. So it's in Bellevue, Washington, Mike. If you think you can make it down for the World War III con or the Game On con, I'm going to be there a couple 3 days each
That'd be
weekend
awesome.
for that. So, but yeah,
I think World War III con is a not quite bucket list type thing for me, but I'd like to show up for it and see it once.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a niche of a niche of a niche. And like I said, I mean, the World War III con, we're lucky if we have like 25 people show up, whereas the regular Game On, 300 or 400 people a day is average.
Yeah.
So but it's cool. It's I mean, Fleet Games have played a lot. I know I think they're running Thin Red Line again this year, and then Yves Routel, who did Red Storm Rising, I think is the name of the game. He flies in from Europe. He flew in 2 years ago. This World War III con is every other year. He flew in a couple years ago to run his game, and his is a monster. It's MMP level of rules depth. So
Yeah.
but yeah, and of course I'm going to be there with World at War. Maybe if my copies ever come in, which I'm not guessing they're going to.
You always take Storm of the Gap.
I do, but the problem is I don't have the big canvas map for that. I never got the canvas map for Storm in the Gap, and I work for the company.
I'll send you my second one that I'm getting.
Nah, don't worry. I'll get it eventually. I mean, well, honestly, we sent a couple extra copies to Jeff, the guy who runs the con, for price support. So I mean, worst case scenario, if someone really wants to play Across the Visor, I mean, I can do Blood and Fury. I've got Blood and Fury. I just don't have the maps for Across the Visor. If someone really wants to do Across the Visor, I know Jeff is going to have his copy, so we can break out his canvas map and do it on that. So, no. The guy who runs Game On and World War III con is Jeff Newell, not Schulte. Jeff Schulte has shown up to the con several times in the past, and he does run the big mammoth games, but he's not making it this year. So I'm probably just going to run beginner demo games with Blood and Fury, and just spend a couple 3 days doing some World at War goodness, and probably teaching people how to play the game incorrectly.
There you go.
That'll show them.
That's right.
Now I did bring, although we didn't play it, I did take my big box of oh, there it is. I did take my big box of Blood and Fury with me.
You mean
And,
storming the gap?
Storming the Gap, uh, with me to my game weekend. And, I showed Chris and my buddy Chris Copeland and Reese, the basics of the cards and whatnot, and they were both fairly impressed with it. That it was essentially a miniatures game on a hex mat.
It is. It is.
So I had been hoping that I was going to be one of those lucky few that received it without getting the notice.
You still might.
I still might. Yeah, I'm probably going to receive my game.
Can you guys hear me?
We
Can now, yeah.
I can hear you, Devin. I can't hear Chris. I can see Chris talk, but I can't hear Chris.
Chris, I can hear Chris just fine.
I can hear Chris.
Chris, say something real quick.
Something real quick.
Yep, nothing. Shit. Reese?
Yep.
Ah, shit. I'll be right back on here.
All right.
I bet his left-right went out, and Devin's on one, and we're on the other.
Probably so.
Technology.
Gotta love it. But yeah, I've and I think I told this to you, Devin. I'm hoping to be able to get the rules in my brain solid enough that I want to put out the big map and do one of the big either Fold the Gap games or across the Essen or
Weser.
Weser, that's it. The Weser. Essen is food.
But there's a town named Essen, so
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're going to do it with new people, I would really suggest storming the gap. The terrain's a lot easier to deal with. With Weser, it's a river crossing in an urban built-up environment, and if you don't know the system that well, that's a hard thing to do. Storming the gap, the north edge of the outskirts of Frankfurt, doesn't have as much, and a lot of the map is just hills and mountains, and of course the infamous Valley of Death. And so that makes it a lot easier. So if you're running with a lot of new people, I would really recommend doing Storming the Gap. So.
Yeah, and because what I want, each player to have like one or two units,
formations,
formations to play with. So when their card gets drawn, do your thing. Next card gets drawn, do your thing.
That's the great thing about the bigger monster games is that there's so many formations that you can just break it down. If you've got 10, 12 people, just assign one formation to each person and just let them do their thing. We did that at AtlantaCon. It's probably been 4 or 5 years ago, and it worked just fantastically. So
so here's the deal. It's a 12.5-hour drive from where I live to Pueblo. I can meet Reese in Kansas City and we'll come on out and we'll get this shit straightened up.
It's just over 11 hours. But if I go through Kansas City, it's 14.
Yeah.
So I'll shoot straight through Oklahoma, come up through Raton. Hopefully it's not snowing on Raton, and then meet you there. Anyway, sorry.
You'd go across 40.
Yep.
Through Amarillo.
It's a straight shot for me.
Yeah.
I mean, until I get to Raton.
Right.
No, I wouldn't even go across on 40. I'd go through Tulsa on what is that?
Oh yeah.
Whatever that highway is.
412.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you pass through Enid, you can wave at Sean and Robbie from Ambush Alley.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Anywho, no, my patience is not as great as it has been. I have purposefully not been vocal about it because I know it's not David's fault. It's not your fault. It's things that are out of your control for the most part. It's unless you're the ones physically doing the moving of stuff. I can't blame you guys.
Well, it's we set it up, and David was the one that chose this warehouse, and so I mean, and there have been flub ups on our part. It's just the simple fact that we've had them games for a month and we haven't got all the World of War stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
We've only got like 1,400, 1,500 orders, if that. I mean, it's unacceptable at this point.
It should have been
really
2 weeks,
is.
maybe 2 weeks.
1,400 orders. That's what, 8 pallets?
There's
Well, hold on. 6-foot pallets or 8-foot pallets?
Well, they've been down.
They came in an 8-foot pallet. I think there's 67 copies of World of War per pallet, so figure that out.
Okay, what was the numbers again? 67 by.
I think it's 67 games per pallet, and then like I think 1,400.
It's about 21 pallets.
Yeah.
Okay,
Roughly.
we can't get all of them in a cattle trailer.
Well, a lot of them have gone out.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But I can rescue. I can rescue about 10 of them.
These boys are sorting out their routes. You got about 2 weeks before this stops being a joke.
We're about to eastbound and down this crap.
Got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Hey.
We're gonna do what they say can't be done. Got to watch that at least once a year.
I think we can pull it off.
Oh yeah. Yep. Hey, Smokey or Bandit and
Snowman.
Snowman. Yeah, they got how many cases of coolers across the Mississippi?
A lot.
Yeah. We can do it. 21
Anyway.
pallets. If I had a semi-trailer, we could do that in the load.
Well, now see, that's just World at War. We still have 2 other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glory and Empire. Now that's not quite. Neither one of those come to 1,500. I think Glory and Empire is like 1,100, and then JU-87 I think is about 1,000, 1,100. So.
Yeah.
These have got to be pretty light pallets too.
Boxes ain't light. I mean,
Okay.
the World at War box itself is like 12.5 pounds.
Okay, understood.
That is one thing that people say is like, I broke my back picking it up. We warned you.
Yeah.
I even told my dad, if the order comes in, Dad, just leave it on the porch. Just give me a call. You live 6 miles away. I'll be over in 10 minutes. I'll get it myself. Don't hurt yourself.
67 pallets. That's only a 900-pound pallet. That's doable. Anyway, Scala's right. We're getting close to this not being a joke.
Nah, it'll always be funny.
Oh, anyway.
Oh, I'm not saying it won't be funny. I'm just saying when I'm coming through Enid at 85 miles an hour with a trailer.
Honestly, the embarrassing part is going to be when this happens, and then Reese is sitting there on the highway with World at War 85 scattered all over the place.
You want
State trooper wondering what on earth I'm driving so fast for, and what in the world these boxes are.
Yeah.
And what is liver and Gus?
That's just the funny thing is GMT, one of their ships coming from China, ran aground in Taiwan, and David and I were joking. It's like, oh my God, I'm just so glad that didn't happen to us.
Fair. Yeah, no shit.
Was it a Chinese ship that ran aground at Taiwan?
I don't know what nationality the ship. I don't know what nationality it was, but
That's
yeah,
gonna get spicy.
What's up, Jeff?
Hey, Deb.
What's up, brother?
Another day in paradise, man. You all are talking about. Chris said he He said they scraped 32 degrees. Shit, it was freaking -2 this morning in West Virginia. I'm like, what the fuck, over?
It's about what I was catching horses in yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wardrobe.
What the hell? Everybody's showing up. What's up with this?
Whoa! Hey, buddy.
What's up?
We thought we would make an appearance. See what's going on.
Look at these two guys.
Well, the three on the bottom are going to get to see each other in May, face to face and live.
Correct.
The boys are coming to town.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in
Poor guy
town.
Bill that I talked about, he's a guy that he's still test playing some GBA CW stuff. That's how I met him, was test playing the Wilderness game. And ran into him with Stigler up in Gettysburg. And I just emailed, hey man, got buddies coming out from St. Louis. I said, what do we got to do to rent you? And I told him, I said, I know I'm making you sound like a hooker, but he said, whatever you want, man, he'd do anything for us. So I gave him the date. He said, blocked out the whole schedule for the day.
That didn't.
He's
make
a
him
licensed.
sound any
Yeah,
less like a hooker.
So, I mean, I can do, I can take us around. That's not a problem. But I said, you know what? Why not get somebody that knows all the little crevices? And he's such a good dude. So,
Well, color me super jealous.
And then so next year is going to be a trip to Seattle. The boys are back in town.
Coming back up to Seattle again?
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Aw.
I just thought I wanted the three of us to come, the touring goobers, come travel around and destroy.
Dude,
the-
I would love for you guys.
Y'all
to
gotta
go.
come
I mean,
see Wilson's Creek and Pea Ridge and Prairie Grove and
That's true. That
I
one
do
I
will-
was
wanna
say,
do that.
Washington's a drive, my
he's
man.
going to see 20-fold times that at just going to Gettysburg for one day.
that's all right.
I've done the Seattle drive.
yeah,
it is
we,
long.
We got no
Kevin's worth
battlefields
it.
up here. I am.
Chuck's he's loading me up, and he's going to give me 4 games already to play for March.
But Reese,
Five months.
now that is a very doable trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
For Andrew and I. Well,
And
not
depending on when
Jay
you
as
come
well.
down, I may have an Airbnb for y'all to stay at that would be on location at the
Yeah, I got him one.
Liver and Gus Ranch.
I got him a nice Airbnb.
Well, I
Couch
don't know
number
about
1
that.
and couch number 2.
Oh no, I'm not joking. My boss is turning one of the houses on the property into an Airbnb.
I'm not joking
dude.
either. They're getting couch number 1 and couch number 2.
Hey, Andrew,
Yes.
let's forget West Virginia. Let's go see Arkansas.
All right. Gettysburg will be there when you're done crying down there.
Yep. See, liver and Gus.
Oh, nice.
No. God. Nice.
It's Oliver Angus, but it looks like liver and Gus.
I like it.
Terrible.
With the
Reese and I
Stargate
did.
symbol.
Reese and I did a hat swap, except I haven't given him his hat yet.
Oh, that's all right. You owe me some airplanes too.
Yep. No. Oh yeah, Hexy, that's a perfect game for you. March 30th, Battle of Cape Matapan.
I'm telling you, the only naval game I got in this house is going home with Andrew when he goes back home.
Oh, there you go.
Well, unless you consider Pacific War.
Yep.
That's got island hopping in battles and ground troopies in it.
And
I'll
what do you?
I'll just fly them across the water. Fuck the boats.
Oh, jeez.
I'll just completely modify everything Doug MacArthur had in his mind.
Damn.
Leave my boy Dougie Mack alone.
Uh,
So
Jeff
Andrew,
is super excited to walk the footsteps of Dan Sickles.
shit, I told him I'm going to drop them at the Peach Orchard, and I'm going to drive up to Little Round Top and wait for them to catch up.
wait, so wouldn't that be footstep of Dan Sickles?
No, he walked around with his 2 feet. I feel like he wasn't putting feet fall down with 1 foot until, what was it, 1883 or whenever they had the 30th anniversary or 20th to 30th anniversary. I don't remember if it was 30th or 20th or 25th that he had a big thing going, but yeah.
Here, y'all won't believe this. Damn, Chuck. I took down a Great Battles of American Civil War game because I didn't like it.
What?
Betcha.
Who are
And
no,
I just
well,
fell the box.
Well, hold on here. We know this is the evil Jeffy because he's wearing glasses.
He's just mad hockey season is over.
GBACW made a game and an expansion for the Mexican War. And I started to play Buena Vista, and I bitched at Todd about it the whole time. And I took it down. But you know what I put up in its place?
What was wrong
my
with
printer?
your printer? What printer do you? Oh, your.
That's my PLA over there running now.
Oh, okay.
We
What was wrong with it?
I think I'm so used to playing with the Civil War and knowing the officers and the command structure and everything. They just waylaid. Now, it's an older one, don't get me wrong. They waylaid the activation stuff and made it so freaking difficult with Santa Ana having this and that, and Wool and Taylor both on the field acting as overall commanders, and also they're acting like corps commanders, but the rules say, but they're pretty much just like division commanders. And your regiments, which might be broken down into 3 pieces, oh yeah, treat them like brigades. You know what? I said, fuck that. Took it down. It was one of my games for February that I was going to play, but I'm going to have to break out Fort Donelson now, I'm afraid.
We talked some Civil War history before the stream.
A little, yeah.
We had a bushwhacker raid on the ranch in 1864.
A bushwhacker raid? Which one?
On the very ranch.
Which bushwhacker?
I don't know. I'm looking into it. I just know the name of the guy that got killed trying to save the horse herd.
Sounds like a miniature game opportunity.
Yeah. And I know the terrain very well because the old homestead and the old well and everything they're in the North Cow pasture where I pulled a cow and calf out of today or yesterday. So
Sounds like fistful of fentanyl.
Yeah.
no, that's across the road from the ranch. But anyway.
No, just sometimes you're very, very, very familiar with the terrain.
Oh, yeah.
I was told somebody at work today, McMurray, about Kinloch and how it reminded me of Mogadishu.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the piles of tires and shit?
Yeah. Yep.
Makes sense. The streets are blocked by barricades built out of just hundreds of dead tires. Like, it makes sense.
Hey, Mikey or Chuck, either one of you all got GMT's old Borodino game? I don't want to be going to Noble Knight looking for it.
Reese actually pulled something up this weekend. He did a little research. He's going to do a little more for me, but
I'm still digging.
I think I've said a couple times on here that my uncle flew F-8s during Vietnam with VF-111 off of Oriskany and Ticonderoga during Vietnam. What I didn't know is that he won the Distinguished Flying Cross for actions over Hanoi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So during that Hanoi, that would be linebacker?
It was 67, October 67.
Yeah.
The 24th and the 26th.
So, yeah, linebacker 1 and linebacker 2.
Within the 3-day window that John McCain got shot down.
Yeah.
Same aircraft carrier, I believe, as well.
So that, and also he was the 125,000th catch on Ticonderoga.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there was a little write-up by he was also a flight leader, and there was a write-up about from one of his flight mates, I guess you could call him, and was talking about how the guy telling the story was coming in too low for a landing, and he said that Tom keyed the mic to say you're too low, pull up, but what came across the radio was, "Oh shit."
We've all been there.
Oh, excuse me. Whew. Oh, but yeah. So I thought that was cool. So one of the games that we played this weekend during the Vietnam era, I flew a couple of F8s in my uncle's honor.
That's cool.
They weren't painted up as VF-111, but that's okay.
I've got 3 I'm
Reese's
picking up
going
as VF-111 right now. So
There you go. So, yeah, it's always interesting to learn history about family or an area that you're intimately related with. So
sometimes it's weird to be sitting on a horse looking at a place where you know somebody got killed over a horse.
There you go. 100 and some odd years ago. With
December 20th, 1864.
So that
Your
would
little
have been
skirmish?
161 years ago.
Your little skirmish.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to find out who that was, and
It made the thing about the Missouri-Arkansas border war is there were 3 factions. There was the Confederates, there was the Unionists, and then there was a middle faction that fought everybody and anybody and wore whatever uniform was suitable for the day. And
the hillbillies.
yeah, but so there may not be records on who it was.
Yeah. It's just somebody wanted your horses. Well, not your horses, but somebody wanted the
why
horses.
there's so few. I know Stigler's working on one now, but at least he said he is. But that's why there's so few games on the 7 days, because they can't track down unit organizations at that early part of the war. A lot of it's guessing games that people are doing, but stuff I know Stigler's working on. I heard him say it the other day on the Great Battles of the American Civil War. I mean, I'm telling you what, if they ever produce a 7 days battle for GBACW, they'll have to reprint that thing 10 damn times, because that will be so popular in the Civil War community. You got freaking Worthington's, and you know what I thought of that. And then you got Ulan, Gary Dodd. He's got his in the last full measure, which he's working on it. He's supposed to print me one and make one. But there's just none out there. I mean, the ones that are hit or miss. So, and you would think with all the coverage of Napoleonics and how we know that Napoleon kept tremendous records for everything. The French did. I mean, he created so much shit. But it's amazing that there's not as much in 1860s. Well, there's some stuff that was missed in the early.
Phenomenal record, except for that win-loss. Sorry.
Had to get that in, didn't you? Had to throw that punch, that jab, didn't you? Well, I got news for you. I was going to take you to see Dan Sickles' leg in the museum, but you're not going now.
We weren't going to D.C.
Right next to John Dillinger's Pecker.
I saw Santa Anna's leg. Illinois has it at their military museum at Camp Lincoln.
When did they move that?
How's it doing in Illinois?
It got captured during the Civil War, I think. Texas.
Yeah, have you always been up in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, for the most part. I lived in Colorado for a few years, but pretty much born and raised up here. And then, of course, my internship with the U.S. military.
Were you in just for 4 years, Devin?
Nah, I was in for 7.
Oh, okay.
I was planning on doing my 30, but I ended up taking a medical. Thank you, fucking President Clinton.
Don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel.
Fuck that bastard. Literally. I mean, it was this is when he was deciding he wanted to scale down the military, so they were looking for any excuse they could, and I got caught up in it. And
What year was that? 91,
95,
92?
95.
Yeah, because they started the drawdown in 92.
Yep.
And I remember when I was at Fort Drum, when they started the voluntary, if you want to get out, we'll let you out. And somebody in the infinite wisdom in the federal government decided, oh man, they love our military. These people, we're not going to get enough people out, so let's start kicking them out for dumb shit. At Fort Drum alone, 82% of the non-commissioned officers in 10th Mountain Infantry divisions up there wanted out. Before that,
Oh yeah, I believe it.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
The smarter army, they called it.
The funny thing is, I was doing shore duty at the time. I was in where was I? Los Angeles, San Francisco. I was in San Francisco, and I decided I wanted to get back out to the fleet because I hated shore duty because I was losing about $500 a month sea pay. So I just wanted to get back out to the fleet because I'm one of those few rare moronic motherfuckers that actually enjoyed being Hays Grant underway. So I decided, all right, I want to get back out of the fleet. I called my old ship that I was stationed on in Japan, see if they had a gunner billet. It's like, yeah, we'll take you back. I mean, it's no problem. So I contact the detailer and say, hey, I've gotten permission from my command. They don't need me here. I'm a gunner's mate, and I'm working fucking motor pool. So I want to get back out to the fleet. My ship has got a billet for me. It's like, all right, cool. You got to do a physical. Why? Well, you're going overseas. I just came back from overseas. Well, you need to get another physical. Like, all right, fine. And then that's where they picked up my pre-existing condition, my respiratory issue. Like, I've been in for 7 years and it's never bothered me yet, but they were looking for any reason they could. And if I'd have just waited 6 months, done out my shore duty and just gone back to the fleet in normal rotation, I'd have been fine. But
Alas.
Yep.
was not to be. I was planning on doing my full 30.
So, but
I was the same way, and then it changed, and I was combat arms, and I didn't like the breed of kid that they were. And I was still a kid, really, but that they always talk about that one question that just doesn't work with the military, and that is, why do I have to do this? That was a big freaking thing that started happening in the early 90s or late 80s, early 90s, and I was like, you know what? Maybe if I was a clerk or something, it'd be a different story. But no, there's no way I could have been in the service and not done what I did. So it was bye-bye.
Hey, Todd.
Yeah.
You know where Jeff keeps his combat arms?
Here we go.
No,
his
where?
sleeves.
In his combat sleeves.
Hey-o!
Don't get it.
It's okay.
Attached to his combat shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
Still don't get it.
I know you don't, buddy. That's okay.
Much like a neutered dog, you don't.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, but you did get out on an actual medical, right, Devin?
It was admin. So not really a medical, but an administrative discharge.
Yeah,
I mean, I still get my full VA medical and everything. I mean,
yeah.
See, I don't remember medicals being handed out like candy in the late 80s and early 90s.
by the mid 90s, they really were. They
Yeah,
really
because
were.
I got a bunch that work with me, and I'm like, how are you getting that? I don't understand it.
And you got my uncharacterized discharge.
Other than honorable?
No. Uncharacterized. I don't exist in military records.
Gents, I got a boogie. It's time to go to sleep. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care,
Okay,
Mr.
man.
McMurray. Thanks for dropping in, buddy. Missed you.
Yep.
bud.
Later, guys.
Charles says he's got Yakinto's The Great Redoubt, Borodino.
Now, what it was is I looked at, I was telling Todd that I saw somebody on Facebook had posted a couple pictures. I guess they were playing it, and I looked at the game and before I even read what it was. I said, "That's a great Battles of the American Civil War." And I looked at it, I said, "With Napoleon?" And I was like, "What the hell?" So now I'm all in a tizzy to try to figure out and I've seen the game many a times advertised, but it's an older game. I mean, I'm sure it's not GBACW, but damn, them counters sure look exactly like it. Weapon type and everything. I think if the opportunity came up, I would probably grab it just to see. Oh, my printing's done. Hey.
Y'all have got me digging on this raid now.
Yeah. No, you've got you digging on that raid.
Yeah. Agreed. Huh.
Sounds like a game for Fistful of Lead. Reloaded.
Mm-hmm. The problem is I don't know how good a game a gang of bushwhackers against a mother and her couple sons still left home from the war, because the dad and the older brothers are off fighting the war to actually be.
Well, how you do it is you make it a little. You do some poetic license.
Yeah.
And you start off with the Raiders coming in, attacking mom and boys. And then you got a Confederate unit that just happens to be waltzing by.
Well, that's the thing, is I don't know if they're Confederate or Union that raided the house, and it probably doesn't even matter.
Well, what you do is you run it as that third, the third group.
Oh man, I got some 54mm Indian ponies with war bridles on them.
There you
It
go.
would be perfect for loose horses.
There you go.
I just need to get some of those and have basically a horse herding game with 3 gangs of cavalry trying to fight for the horse herd.
There you go.
And I could
And
do that.
And you can call it Liver and Gus Ranch.
We'll have Liver Eating Oliver and somebody named Gus.
Right. Right.
There's got to be a Juanita.
Oh God.
Random murderous Highland cow to a boy.
Right. That she comes out on one of the Jokers.
And can leave from any little brush patch.
Hey, my brother Jay is in the house. It's grime time for Quar Tractors. He's laying on some Nuln Oil. Don't lay it on too thick. We saw what happened when we did that on mine, and it wasn't pretty. I had to basically repaint them. So
And we lost him.
We didn't lose him. He just froze.
He's really good at that game.
Yes, he is. Red light, green light. And he might come back.
Maybe.
Walking out says, "Oh look, all the cool people showed up when I left for dinner."
Hey, Dev, I played my first game of Tactical.
Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of figured when you were asking me questions about it. Yeah. What'd you think? Which title and what do you think?
Well, I can't say that, but I can tell you the title. It was Motherland.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And I'm playing another one that's literally because I'm playing by date stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, I will tell you. So I've got the next one I got set up now. I'm getting ready to play it. Is the Big Cats at Twilight or something like that? Big Cat. But yeah, it's I tell you, it's all your all's games seem to follow suit.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those ones that are World War II, and I even somewhat World War 85. There's like a familiarity with all of them. So it's great because the transition is much easier. I need to get. You all sent Brian West and East.
Yes. Tank on
I
Tank.
got East after the root trick that you all played on me and Chris. and Chris got West. I'm gonna have to get on there and get me a copy of West because I want to be able to play those with Mutt when he gets around to doing it, because I think that'd be a good system for him to.
It is. Like I said, Tank on Tank's a good intro war game. Plus, it plays so much like a miniatures game to begin with. He should be able to slip right into it with no problem. So.
Yeah, he's. Oh, you didn't see the pictures he was showing us. I'm waiting for him to shoot that video. That dude went hog nuts wild at Noble Knight on Hexagon again. Hey, and when I say hog nuts wild, no, I can't say I've never made a purchase like he did, because I did when I first came back to the game. But he went bananas.
I haven't seen. Has he posted it on Facebook or in the Discord or what?
I don't think he's posted. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's posted what he.
Yeah, I think he just sent it to our chat group.
Okay.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, and if he orders from Noble Knight, he paid well above market value.
He did buy a bunch of magazine games that he found. That, used ones that were pretty.
Yeah.
I think they had a big sale going. I think he did get Great Battles of History, that easy game.
Oh yeah, very easy.
You want to talk about giving him on heart attack? That one's going to give him another heart attack.
Silver Bayonet.
Silver Bayonet. That's kind of, that'll give him a heart attack too.
No, that's what we're worried about.
I think he's liking it, the Hex Encounter, because he's wore out that Saratoga.
Yeah, good.
I think that's
Mark and I are going to have a hard time throwing the Great Battles like we did the other one.
I got
2 months.
What's up?
He's back. Quiet. Don't talk about him.
Oh, I've been hearing you. I've been having issues with. I unplugged my laptop, so with the lid closed, it immediately goes to sleep. Crawled under the desk, plugged it back in, and then my camera isn't working, so I have to open the lid to my computer so I can use the camera in my computer. Technology. You gotta love that.
Technology.
Shit.
Gotta love it.
Anywho. ID Jester is in the house. How you doing, sir? He says it's 43 degrees. If I remember correctly, he's down in Florida.
He lives in Florida, though, so I mean.
Jester, I hope you got 10 inches of snow down there.
Dad, who lives just north of San Antonio, got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches the other day.
I saw the weather. They were talking about there was deep down on the coast in Louisiana and Mississippi. There were 8 to 10 inches of snow dropping some places.
Yeah, my aunt sent a picture. My aunt sent a picture of her truck and 10 inches of snow with a ruler in Alabama, down near the coast. It's great. That's so much snow for them.
Yeah, that is a lot of snow.
And it was like 50 degrees up here today.
I
get it.
50 degrees. I'd knife a guy for 50 degrees. It was yesterday morning. It was -8 on the way to work.
Yeah, it was bonkers yesterday. The 37 felt like a heat wave.
Yeah. Y'all
Hell,
have
the snow we got
37s today?
The snow we got on Sunday is still on the ground because it's been so stinking cold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're finally losing snow. We'll probably by the end of this week be out of snow. Jester says Pensacola's got 5 to 6 inches of snow. He got none down in Tampa.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Chris. It is ridiculous. Not a fan. No, sir.
I watched
Not
the
a fan at all.
Caps play Edmonton last night. And I saw people in Edmonton, Oilers fans, going to the game wearing shorts. Like, come on.
No thanks.
We get a lot of snow up in the mountains, but down where I'm at, we get barely any snow ever.
Oh.
You get a lot of rain.
There we go.
Oh no, we get a ton of rain. Yeah, we get. Well, I can't say we get a lot of rain. It's just steady and constant throughout the year.
What do you got going
looks
here,
like
Mr.
some-
Wardrobe?
That looks like some ASL.
I am so earlier tonight, 7 to 8:30. Rich and I, who's helping me learn ASL, and we're playing through. We're playing Singling. So this is the attack of the Americans on Singling in November. Is that right? December of '44. And so he'll be attacking off board with all this stuff, like 11 tanks or something, coming up here. And basically, he's just got to eliminate my dudes and take as many of these buildings as he can. We're going to do the campaign game, which is cool. I've not really played a campaign game yet. So it's introducing a bunch of stuff. So tonight was just kind of like talking about all the different rules and new additions to things I've never seen before. And then we'll start playing next Wednesday. So I'm going to set up my stuff. I'm on Germans on Defense, and I'll send him my file, and he'll set up his stuff off board.
So where, where's this supposed to be happening?
Singling, France. It's the 37th Tank Battalion of the what division is that, everybody? 4th Armored Division? No.
Americans.
I know there's 3 combat commands were involved, so
Lieutenant Colonel Creighton Abrams, may have heard of him, made an attack towards Singling in France, 6 December 44.
is that that's a hassle map too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It came in an operations magazine, so it's only got 2 pages, 2.5 pages of campaign rules, and it's just 3 campaign dates. So it's morning, midday, and late and early evening. And so
They tried to take that thing multiple times in one day.
yeah, we'll just crank this bad boy out.
I have always loved ASL campaigns and the hassle stuff. It's just ASL itself can suck eggs.
Well, I don't have the map for him because Rich has got his house, but many of the hexes are big enough usually. They're usually an inch or bigger, so they can accommodate the. I actually used the lock and load rules to play on the Hatton Flames map, and they fit perfectly on there.
I actually took ATS and played on Elst.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yep.
that's cool.
Yep, it worked really well too.
Yeah, the Hatton and Flames scenario didn't work great. I needed to spend a little bit of time kind of tweaking the order of battle and stuff, and just because the rules are just slightly different enough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my
it's
goal for this year is to play Elst in September.
What is that?
The ASL.
So it's a Market Garden decision at Elst, and so Elst is up in the island, so it's British.
Oh, okay.
Kind
It's the furthest that the drive that 30th Corps made to getting to relieve Arnhem.
You know, in the movie clips when all the generals are in the tower at the end,
Yeah.
they're in Elst.
That's else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a starter kit game, Chris. So it's ASL starter kit, so it's quite a bit simpler than what I'm getting ready to do here. And it's so I don't know if you know this, Chris. If you know this already, just stop me. But they're hassle maps, so historical ASL. So this is a better representation of Singling looks like than the geomorphic boards that you normally play ASL with. So, it's meant to. So the Elst map looks kind of like, if you look, it looks like Elst. I mean, they try to replicate the buildings and include scenario rules and terrain that are closely reflect.
The hassle maps are about 80 to 85%. There's always things that you're not going to be 100% convert to a hex map, but it's the closest you're going to get.
Right.
So,
It's like if you see those, usually what you see of hassles are Stalingrad, because that's the most popular or biggest. And so there are just crazy, huge maps of Stalingrad with
red barricades in Valor, the 37th, the
Yeah.
Barricadian Red October factories.
Was this 15th Panzer Grenadier?
this is I just know Panzer Grenadier Regiment 111, Abotang 1. How do we say that? It didn't say what higher division, higher.
Yeah, I think it's 15th. There's a great documentary that I watched on YouTube a couple of years ago. I mean, very, very thorough about this fight.
So I got some thinking to do about the deploying and putting where we're going to put some couple of fortified buildings and.
Okay, just because my OCD is going off on me, the darker brown is lower elevation than the lighter green, correct? Or is it the other way around? Is the brown the higher elevation?
Brown is lower. We look
Okay,
it up.
okay,
Yeah.
good. That's, So with some of those third-party hassles, you got to kind of, all right, they use their own colors sometimes. It's like, all right, which elevation is that?
If I remember right, some of the Americans' armor got into the town, even though the Germans were there. They actually got into the town unseen. But they talk about some of the firefights where these tanks got caught on the roads, like where you're coming in from the south on that map.
Yep.
Where they got caught in there, just some of them got chewed up. I don't know whether it was first wave or not, but really, really good documentary. But this is probably one of the more covered battles for like news or documentary stuff that I've ever seen.
I'll have to check it out. So this would have been after Hurtgen Forest, before Battle of the Bulge. This is actually put out by MMP, Devin. This was in the
the Ops magazine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've had 2 or 3 of them, and I was just lucky enough to find someone selling I didn't get the magazine, but they just selling this in the thing, which is great. And it's really small. It's not even a full. It's probably half a sheet of like normal map size.
Yeah. See, I like the smaller ones. Like, as long as you've got built-up areas, I kind of like the smaller maps. Like, it's like St. Mary Église that they came out with recently. If you just take St. Mary Église, that's a nice little compact fight.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun one. I'm sure Rich probably would want to play that one. He likes playing Americans, so we'll.
Elst is a good size. I like Elst. I've attempted to do Red Barricades. That was too much, and I don't think I'll ever try Valor the 37th. So.
Understood. We just need to see more maps like this in Lock and Load, man.
You know, we're honestly pushing that way. I've got Pegasus Bridge is 90% done, and David wants me to do Carentan. So we're looking at more historical maps like this, kind of part of our new reimagining of Lock and Load Tactical and how we're gonna distribute the games and everything. And we'll get more into that as we get closer and closer to releasing. But yeah, Pegasus Bridge and Carentan, we're definitely looking at that. We do have one guy, Mike Nagel, put together a Pacific map. I think, where was it? Burma, around the fighting of the tennis courts. What fight was that? What fight? Why is my brain? Oh yeah, I'm old. That's why. But he's got a historical map for Japanese and British forces fighting in Burma. So they're there. We're looking more at transitioning more to these type of maps.
Well,
David wants. I love David to death. However, he just really doesn't understand scope and scale sometimes. I was talking to him a couple of years ago. Well, I want to do Stalingrad. All right, fine. We can do Stalingrad. I want to do the entire city of Stalingrad. Excuse me, what? Yeah, I want to do the entire historical map.
There'd be about 37 maps at your
more
scale.
than that. I had to break it down for him. It's like the city is like 11 kilometers long, dude. You want me to take portions of the battle? Fine, cool, sure, I'll do that. But we're not doing the entire city at that scale. Just not.
So,
happening.
in Lock and Load Tactical, how big is a hex?
40-yard hexes.
40-yard hexes. Yeah.
We couldn't print enough counters to be able to do the entirety of Stalingrad.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. Personnel.
I mean, you could, but you'll have a 6 foot box.
It would be a war chest.
Inch. Yeah.
It would be a war chest at that point. Yeah. So. And let's put it this way: I don't want to do it. I don't want to do the entire city.
The problem is the box for the game won't fit into the warehouse's doors.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So,
Devin, I'm gonna say
yes, sir.
this. I'll bet you that somewhere along the line, you're doing it. Not the whole shebang, but I bet you're going to be doing it in pieces.
Oh, Stalingrad. Oh, yeah. No, I've already started to lay out the red barricades and the Red October factory and the fight for the docks and the commissar's house and the grain elevator. You know, it's. I've already started to lay the groundwork. Yeah, believe me. I'm a gamer. We tinker. So
Don't let that get in the way of the Civil War game you want to create.
you're the one developing that one. What are you talking about? You design it. I'll develop it for you. All right. So.
Still say you'll need to take a look at Operation Dragoon.
A dragoon.
Southern invasion of the invasion of southern France. Yeah, that would.
Just saying.
Well, I mean, we can. Not saying what our next title is, West Front. There's a good chance we'll see some Dragoon scenarios in there, one or two at least. Depend on how deep into it I want to go with the design process.
Do you find it easier to put a scenario together as opposed to trying to put, like, say, a whole box together? Or does the whole box just come together as you're doing the scenarios?
Well, the problem is I kind of have got to have an idea of what the box can support before I start working on the scenarios. I've got to know how many maps are going to be in the box, how many maps am I allowed. That right there is the biggest determining on what the scenarios are going to be. And then it's the counters. How many counter sheets am I going to have? Am I going to have enough, Russian personnel to do a full battalion of Soviet infantry and, do some scenarios that I want to? And no, I usually don't have that much space. So you've got to know what's in the box before you can really start working on the scenarios. Now, I mean, and Todd, you and I have talked about this before in the past. Most scenarios are just kind of a snapshot of what was going on in the area at the time. We can't really do it at the scale. I mean, we might be able to do it at a company scale for a scenario when the actual historical battle was a battalion size. So we were just taking a look at a snapshot of a portion of the battlefield. So, that's just one of the limiting factors. Just one of the realities we have to realize that we're dealing with. So I can hey, yeah, sure, I can do Stalingrad with, 20 Russian squads. It's not going to be a really good historical representation, but I can do it if you want me to. It may not be very good, but it's it's possible. So it depends on how much historical accuracy you want to sacrifice. Now, with the Russians, trying to do Russian order of battle in any one particular battle, pain in the ass. It's like, all right, we know this is the gear that they had in the area. Right. Do I know exactly how many T-34As and T-34Bs they had? Probably not. But I know that the Germans knocked out 12 of them at least, so I know to stick at least 12 in the scenario, or, scale it down. It's like one of the scenarios I did in Enemy at the Gates was one of the first Russian counterattacks on Mamayev Kurgan, trying to take the hill back from the Germans. And historically, the Soviets were supposed to get a battalion of T-34s. And they only got 3 of them showed up. It's like, all right, that's easy to do. I can throw three T-34s into the scenario and, balance some of the German force. And that's a lot of times what you have to do is you have to, all right, we know this is what historically was there. To make the scenario playable and fun, kind of got to balance the OOB around playability. I can make a scenario historically completely 100% accurate for any one particular battle, but sometimes it's not fun to play because if you're fighting an even battle, you've done something wrong to begin with. I mean, that's just a military action. It's like for Pegasus Bridge. People want to do the initial glider landings. The first 3 gliders that came down. All right, that's, a platoon of infantry. No, it was a company of infantry. The Germans had like 2.5 squads at the first bridge over the canal. It's how is that playable? It's really not, but people want to play. So I got to come up with ways to make it at least halfway, even. So it is what it is.
See Jester's question.
No, I've got my map or my picture. Yes, more is oftentimes better, except for a lot of times customers don't want more.
Well, gentlemen, I am freezing to death in this basement, and I'm going to go lay down. So
You need to get a heater or something.
I'll have a
down
good
there.
night. So
Take care, buddy. Thanks for dropping in.
find my
Yes, Kirk, there is new stuff coming for Point Blank. Winter Victory is coming. 12 new scenarios, focusing completely on Battle of the Bulge. New units, new rules, new objectives, new terrain. We got snow rules. We're going to be adding, we've got aircraft in it. So yes, Winter Victory is coming soon-ish. I've stopped saying any days. I've gotten bitten in the ass too many times. It is coming. We're also trying to get Sean to do another Point Blank game, full box set. He wants to do early war, Denmark, Lowlands, France, Poland, 1940, 1941. But David and I think an Eastern Front title would be much
Even better, hell yeah.
Exactly. So, and we're also throwing around a Pacific Point Blank. So, Point Blank has not been abandoned. It's just with the deluge of games we're trying to get out the door right now. As soon as we get these games out the door, then we know what our next 5 titles are going to be, and on all of them are in varying states of development. Couple will be able to come out the door rather quick. Others, well, they'll go through the normal development procedure. So, but Point Blank stuff, more Point Blank stuff is coming.
Awesome. Also, the future. I think the future looks bright. And it's funny. I've been watching the comments. Other than the guy with the reverse counter sheet, everybody that's got their game, they've been praising it.
Yeah.
Well, and that is, and I kind of agree with David. David's mentality is, I don't care what they complain about. As soon as they get the game, the complaints are going to go right out the window. For the most part, yeah, he's right. He is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've always got that. There's about 12 guys. And those are the guys that are always going to complain. We're always going to have our haters.
They're going to bitch if they got hung with a new rope.
Yeah, basically. So, my opinion, yeah, I am bothered by it, but by the same token, fuck the haters. I mean, that's
what can you do? I mean,
what can you do? Exactly. You're always going to have people that are going to complain. So,
Yeah. Anywho.
Ooh, did you just print that out?
Yeah.
Where's the roof?
That'll go tomorrow. I'm not. The only thing about the PLA that I can't stand is if you try to print like a mass size thing. Even that, if you tried to do that, the roof and a second floor, fucking 11 hours later before it's done. So why not just print something that? I mean, even this here took close to 2 hours.
What size nozzle are you using on that? 0.6?
I think it's
0.4.
2. I think.
Wow, 0.2. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's what came with it. There's one other nozzle, but I don't have enough knowledge yet.
Yeah.
Thankfully, people that are the things that I'm using, that they're putting the settings built into the STL, so I don't have to overthink it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I've been wanting to pick up a Bamboo A1 for several months now, and get a 0.2. But the problem is with like the Bamboo with the 0.2, watching videos, they do excellent miniatures, and that's basically what I wanted for. It's just obviously that's what all of us wanted for. But it's like 16 hours to print one miniature at 0.2. It's like, but I can't do a resin here in the apartment. It's just, I mean, I've got serious enough respiratory issues. My roommate's got serious enough respiratory issues. I mean, if I were, what's that?
Couldn't you just? Because I use my resin printer, I use the water-based stuff.
It just, if I were to get a resin, I'd have to keep it over my folks in the workshop. And I mean, it's a possibility, but it's just having the finances to pick one up. So
yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, they are becoming more and more affordable. It's just, real life bills and other stuff always seems to crop up. So.
Todd,
And
we playing Sunday night?
then when I do have the finances, I talk myself out of it.
Todd, are we playing Sunday night?
Let me check. I'm playing D&D tomorrow. Yeah, Jeffy, GCACW 7:30. What was the scale on the building you printed? That looks like 15.
It is. Yeah. It's 15. That's just the first floor. I mean,
And it took how long?
just under 2 hours.
I don't know. It doesn't seem bad to me.
No, it's not. No. I mean, like I said, I don't have enough wisdom yet, but I'm gonna probably just do a roof on this or a second floor. Now, granted, I throw that thing in my resin printer and do it. It ain't gonna take that long.
Is it cheaper to do PLA?
I think there's a if you've got from just and this is my knowledge, which isn't very big, but when you're printing something like this, that's it's square and everything starts with a flat bottom on everything on a PLA.
Yeah.
I think that this material is better than the risk of resin. Maybe you don't cure it properly, or like I remember some tanks I did when I first got my resin printer. I was like, man, these are gorgeous. And then the bottom exploded out underneath the turret, and I'm like, what the? And it's like one of them. What was those candies we used to buy where you bite in the middle of it and had all the fruit juice and stuff inside them? That's what made me think of.
Juicers or squinchers? What was the name of those? Anyway. Yeah.
So
Well, maybe that was something
anything
else.
I can print on the PLA, I think, is stronger.
Yeah, but I think buildings seem like better in that material probably. Anyway, I mean, the resin look great, but
I think PLA is good for terrain, but resin for the actual miniatures themselves.
Yeah,
my
ATW stuff, the miniatures. It's funny too because I'm actually pretty creative. So I take an STL of a base, like what's the freaking infantry starter kits and stuff they sell, black powder or whatever it is, where they have like 6 troops on a skinny base. So I have an STL of the skinny base, but I bought some guys Civil War STLs, and then I bring the troops in. That way I can mix them up. I bring a different troop in and put 4 or 5 of them on a base, and I just make sure that they drop down to where their feet are sitting on top of the base, and then I run it in my resin printer and it come out great.
Jeff, do you see what Jay's saying on there?
And I learned about that after my first explosion.
After they exploded everywhere.
Inside and drain holes. Like some of the last tanks I did in the holes underneath, I have drain holes. So, man. Just for Mikey, so you know I am painting him, Mikey. There you go, buddy. I'm already started. So.
Yeah,
Oh, Devin, I didn't realize you'd got some 40K minis. Someone brought that up.
That's Hero Quest. Oh, Devin
it's Kill Team. Actually, I'm looking at playing Kill Team. I like Kill Team a lot more because it's I don't need 50,000 miniatures on the field. So so I'm not going to buy GW. I've given GW enough money over the years. Because you got to remember, I started playing in '87 with second edition Warhammer Fantasy. So, and my first Marines were Beakies. So, but Kill Team is nice because I mean, at most, you've got like 12, 15 miniatures on the table. So,
right.
And there's no list building. It's like there's no points. It's like this is what your list is. You want options. These are some of the options. So, the miniatures themselves. You don't have to buy a lot of them. In fact, I've got 3 kill teams right now. I've got Death Guard, I've got Sisters of Battle, and I've got Imperial Guard. I've got a Katachan Imperial Guard unit that I'm working on right now. And the Imperial Guard has got 14 miniatures in it. The Sisters are 10. The Death Guard is 6. So I don't have to paint a lot. I don't have to print up a lot, and it's. I like how Kill Team works, and I'll admit I hate for the most part fantasy and 40k. The rule system, I'm a huge fanboy for the lore. I always have been. I always will be. I am not going to apologize for loving the fantasy and 40k lore. I'm just not going to do
Me
it.
in World of Warcraft.
There you go. Exactly.
I was playing earlier tonight.
Exactly.
Do they have a fantasy skirmish one too, like Kill Team?
Not
Well-
like Kill Team. Age of Sigmar is more skirmishy than Warhammer Fantasy was. It's kind of loose formations like 40k is, but they also do have Warhammer: The Old World, which is their rank and file fantasy.
Right. Yeah, I'd seen that. I just curious if they'd kind of replicated the Kill Team concept in fantasy.
Gentlemen, I believe it's
Yeah, no, it's the only fantasy skirmish that I could say that they have for that is Mordheim.
Oh, Mordheim. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, and if you're into that type of stuff, there's a new game that just came out, Trench Crusade, which is it was done by Presley, who did Mordheim, and evidently Gavin is now over there. There's a lot of the old 40k, I mean the OG for fantasy and 40k team that's working on Trench Crusade, and my local game stores, they're putting it all together. The nice thing about Trench Crusade, it's miniatures agnostic, so you don't have to buy them, and most of their miniatures they're putting out as STLs. Yeah, Warcry, yeah, I guess Warcry as well. Yeah, Trench Crusade really has got that Mordheim feel to it, although it's World War I type era. It's basically, what was it, in the third or fourth crusade, bunch of Templars got greedy and opened up a portal to hell, and demons came pouring through, and the Earth has been fighting against demons for 600 years, and it's 1914, and the war is still continuing. So it's I would almost say it's more grimdark than 40k is.
Right.
But you've got your different factions, and it's small unit count. I mean, a starting war band is 7 to 10 miniatures at most, and you're probably not going to go over 12 or 14 miniatures in your war band. But it's also got that campaign progression like Mordheim had, which Kill Team doesn't have. But I understand they're kind of working on something like that. So, and
crashing.
I did.
Oh, see you, man.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, okay. And there's so many skirmish games that you can
yeah.
use anything for, like Mutt loves 1 hour skirmish. There's all the fistful of lead stuff. I mean, that's all perfect for that. If you just have some minis you like to play with, so
Yep.
that's cool.
I definitely prefer the low unit miniature count on the table, and Kill Team works just fine.
Oh, sure.
So.
Are you enjoying painting those things again?
I haven't painted 28 millimeter in probably 15 years at least. I've done plenty of 15 millimeter. I did Flames of War forever, and I did a bunch of 6 millimeter and 3 millimeter. But yeah, this is the first time I started getting. This first time I've done 28 millimeter in well over a decade, probably close to 2 decades. And it's kind of nice. I'm using Army Speed Painter, which is great because I don't have to wash, and my dry brushing, I don't have to dry brush very much. I just slop the paint on, and it's pretty much done for you.
What are you priming those with?
I start off with a base black, and then I kind of do a above light dusting of white.
What paint do you use? I'm just curious for the primer.
Army Painter. I think it's Army Painter.
Oh, really?
Let me check real quick.
I used, please do, because I used Army Painter white on some minis, and it sucked. It like repelled like oil and water.
Yeah, I use Army Painter. Sometimes the moisture content in the air has an effect on that, because if it's too humid, I know you can have issues with priming, and it doesn't matter what company you use. I never liked GW primers. Army Painter is what I used for almost. No, it was, what did I use? I think when I was doing Flames of War, it was Citadel. Yeah.
So the first time I used speed paint was on some BattleTech stuff, and I don't remember what I primed, but I did that. I did black and then a white, but it wasn't this. I think it was just some generic, and it was awesome. I was like, oh my gosh, I like painting now. I've never liked painting, and I loved it. It was fun. Then I tried some other ones just to try it real quick recently, and it's just repelling and bouncing. I'm like, what? It was no longer fun.
Yeah.
Rust-Oleum or Krylon? $6 at Walmart. Boom, done. Rust-Oleum or Krylon?
That works with speed paints?
I don't know about speed paints, but it definitely works for contrast paints.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It was
That's-
just frustrating because I'd had such fun and good luck with those black with that white overspray.
This
And then I
is
did
a,
it- I don't know,
is a
man.
black Krylon with Vallejo white foundation, heavy dry brush, and then just the Citadel.
That's cool.
First edition of contrast paints.
Bunch of Nuln Oil on there as well.
No,
Really?
no,
What's
there's
what's the wash on it?
nothing.
Or was that just the speed paint?
It's the
That's-
contrast
that's-
paint.
It's
Oh, the
just a
contrast paint.
paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Devin, I love that. I mean, for the most part, I love the speed paint. So yeah, I'm not going to use that primer again.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. You got to find what works for you, and that could
And
have
then-
been a bad batch, but yeah.
And this is just the white Krylon with
With speed paint.
yeah,
I'm
the
sorry, with contrast.
contrast. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
Same thing.
Well, I know, but for those watching, they might want to know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that speed paint, I love it because I don't care. I think they look great.
yeah. So I mean,
I'm not.
Yeah.
I suddenly forgot his name. Who's the guy that always painted in oils that was with us all the time?
James Wapple.
Yeah, I know James Wapple. Cool. All right, I think it's time for me to check out too, man.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up.
Yep.
Kevin, thanks for hopping on.
Oh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Agree, Charles.
Todd?
Agree.
Good to
Yep,
see you,
thanks,
buddy.
man. Yep, good seeing you.
I'll gonna be playing doing a session of Fallout role playing game with my brother and nephew tomorrow night. So
Well, that'll be
that'll be fun. And then we'll be here next week.
All right,
So
sounds good.
all right. Until next time, we'll see y'all on the flip side.
See ya.